Morning, everybody. This is Lee Brower, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Mondays. I am so excited, so glad to be here. And I'm going to introduce you to a couple of people. I'm actually in Buffalo, New York, of all places, and you just don't know how interesting it was to get here. But here I am on Monday morning. So let me introduce you to a couple of people. This is Max.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello, world.
And Joey.
Hello, happy Meaningful Monday.
And so we have a special treat for you today. We're going to spend the day with their family, and we're going to do Meaningful Monday from inside. The interesting thing is that their dad, Greg, doesn't know anything about it. Max is kind of the orchestrator of this whole thing, and he suggested that we come out and do Meaningful Monday from here. Max, why don't you take a second and tell us a little bit about your dad and why we're here.
All right. Well, first of all, we're very glad to be here. It's an honor and a pleasure to have Lee here joining us for this very special edition of Meaningful Monday. Our father has actually done some work with Lee in the past and has unfortunately recently been diagnosed with some esophageal cancer. And we've been doing our own little mini versions of Meaningful Monday inspired by Lee. And we're actually just couldn't be happier to have Lee here to join us.
And so does your dad know anything about us being here today? About me being here?
Dad's got no idea. All he knows is that we're about to walk in, and it's going to make for an extra special Meaningful Monday today.
So tell him real quickly what he's going to see on the TV, how it's going to work when you walk in there, so everybody knows.
All right, so we have Lee's actually prepared a brief fake start to his own Meaningful Mondays, and we're going to fire that up on our TV for Dad to watch. And we're gonna get that going, and right after that ends, we're gonna march Lee in and have him surprise Dad.
Well, that'll be fun. So let's just see how that goes. All right, we'll be right back with you in just a minute. Maybe.
Hopefully.
I'm about ready to broadcast this week's Meaningful Monday from the great Lipsitz family home.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Welcome. Welcome to Meaningful Mondays. So here we are with the Lipsitz family. So here we have the entire family. So Greg, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm speechless.
Well, you look great. You do. You look great. So this week on Meaningful Monday, I posed a question to 3 of your sons. So do you remember what the questions were? Hi, Daniel. Daniel, how are you?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. So, let me just kind of preface this. This meeting today is not about cancer, okay? So this meeting more is about the things that happen in life that really, when you look at life, life is broken down into, you've heard me say this before, but 3 things. And that is family, love, learning, and sharing. And so when you really think about it, everything that happens in life centers on those 3 things. Everything. So a lot of times, I'm reminded of a poem that was done by Corrie ten Boom, or a saying that she had. She said, never be afraid to trust in the unknown when you have an all-knowing God. And so many times when I think about that, I think, sometimes we wait in life, different experiences are happening to us, different trials are happening to us, things are going on, and we have a tendency to kind of wait to see what outcomes will come about. And one of the things that I've learned from you, I'm glad to be here because of the learning, and that is that there is no waiting for outcomes. There's just continuing to live life and live life deliberately. So it's not about cancer, it's about family, it's about loving, it's about learning, it's about sharing. So I asked the 3 brothers if they would take a second and just kind of answer the following question. And the question I may have to, I love the cat in the hat. Got to get a picture of that. I collect cartoon art, by the way, and I have a great cat in the hat. Well, I'll talk to you about it later. I just saw that back there. That's very cool. So anyway, so I've asked the question, irrespective of cancer, not thinking about cancer, going through experiences like this, what have you learned that would be able to help you in life, no matter what the circumstances may be? What are you learning? And so I've asked them to share that. So would that be all right if we had them share that? So gentlemen, who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, Joey.
Took some notes.
Okay. Who's your friend there, by the way?
This is Alley-oop.
Okay,
Allie, our pup.
good.
Who needs some dental work. The lessons that we can learn that we can carry over to really the rest of our lives, through all aspects of our lives. In a word, I kind of sum it up as presence. It's amazingly vague and it sounds transcendental, but what I mean is two different things. First, physical presence. It's being where you're supposed to be. It's being with who you're supposed to be with. All the people in this room. That's part of it. The other part is the psychological side, which is something probably that we've learned from you. The biggest thing that we've picked up. You always say this is going to be the most meaningful year, and we can't guarantee that meaningful things are going to happen, or more meaningful things are going to happen this year than last year, or more meaningful things are going to happen this year than next year. But what we can guarantee is that if we pay attention, if we are present and noticing those things, noticing the things that add meaning to our lives, the small things that maybe in the past we wouldn't have even taken notice of, that we can guarantee it. We can guarantee meaningfulness. I rolled both of those things, the physical and the psychological side, together under the headline of presence, and that's kind of the biggest thing that I've learned so far.
Very good. So you'd say like, be in the now, be right
in the
now,
now.
be in the now. That's right, be in the present. Thank you very much. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go for it.
Okay.
The first
Max.
thing, I was talking about it with my wife Blair yesterday. Her thought was that, you know, we're in it for a marathon. It's not a sprint. And as soon as we found out about Dad, all we wanted to do was be here all the time and be showering him with love and presence and some of the stuff Joey just talked about. And you know, early on it's easy to do that, but as you go and things continue, and like you said, you keep living life. It's about finding a way to make every day and every small thing more meaningful. And kind of in line with that, my thought was the importance of isolating the current circumstance. And it feels like it affects everything we do in life, every action and everything we do. And while that can be true, it's really understanding that, you know, we can put it over here and try and take care of the rest of our life and everything else we can do for ourselves to make sure that we can continue to be here and continue to support Dad and love him. And so my one word would be isolation of that thought.
Okay, so what you're saying is it doesn't have to spread into everything. You can isolate that and just ask yourself, what are we learning from this? But don't let it spread into everything else.
Exactly.
Good. Thank you. Okay, Daniel.
Well, I've got a quote that it's not the complete quote, but I'll give you a piece of it that I've felt has been really appropriate through this process, and it's by Marianne Williamson. It's, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? And there's a lot of different ways to take that, and the way I've always interpreted it is that you can define your own circumstances, but sometimes you have to be willing to give more of yourself. And in giving more of yourself, it's an uncomfortable feeling, because if you try your hardest or you give beyond what you thought was 100% and it doesn't work or you don't succeed, it's scary to make yourself that vulnerable, But at the same time, it's scary to think that you might have left something on the table or not given your 100%. And so taking the risk of stepping outside your comfort zone and not being afraid of the light, but embracing it. And the other piece, which is completely unrelated, is that there's a lot of things in life that you have no control over. And sometimes how you feel or what's happening necessarily around you. But if you're able to step back and focus on the things that you can control, starting with your breathing, you can find comfort from within, sometimes even in extremely uncomfortable circumstances.
I love that. I love that quote too. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mom, Ruth, yesterday was Mother's Day. What do you think about these three boys? You've got to be very proud of them.
I'm so proud, it's beyond words, that growing up, when the boys were growing up, Greg and I were always there. We were present. We were at every activity. We supported them in everything they wanted to do, their dreams, their careers, whatever we could do, sporting events. And all the time that we put in, clearly it's payback time now, and they make every day for us has been a meaningful Monday, and we're just overwhelmed.
That's terrific. Thank you. Have you learned anything new?
Have I learned anything new? I'm learning to appreciate everything, all the small things. People say don't sweat the small things. There's nothing anymore that could ever get me going anymore. Everything's just slow and steady.
Yeah.
Appreciate.
That's great. Thank you. Greg,
Hi, Lee.
how are you? Look, if you're going to quit coming seeing me, I'm just going to come see you. So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. What do you think about these messages that we've learned from these four, your wife and your sons today?
Remarkable. Just amazing. They have stepped up and shown a level of love. It's just beyond belief. And I can't imagine anybody having anyone in their life like the people in my life.
Well, you truly are blessed. And that's one of the reasons I'm here, is to be able to bask in all of this love. It's really great. You know, you talk about the power of families. And so you see here, we're sitting here with this family, and together, you know, by yourself, imagine, you know, you never are alone because of that quote that we talked about earlier, you know, that you can trust your future, even if it is unknown, you know, even if it is to an unknown future, but to an all-knowing God, you know. So we're just happy to see the whole family here, and this is our edition of Meaningful Monday this week, coming from Buffalo. And everybody out there, make this week meaningful for you. Talk to you next week.